Hello everyone, my name is Tory and this is Peaches. I'm a current patient of Dr. Blodgett's, and to be completely honest, I feel like I'm a patient of Christy, his medical assistant, Mara, his dental hygienist, Heidi, his financial coordinator, Ashlyn, his scheduling coordinator, and each and every single person on his team and in that office. The very first time I walked into there, I felt like I was each and everyone's personal patient and truly more like family. And I've been struggling to find the words to express how happy and grateful I am for all of them, and felt that the best way that I could even begin to explain it would be by telling my story. There, I had an accident where I slipped on black ice and fell down a flight of 8 concrete stairs, face first. I took a direct hit on the ledge of the last stair to my upper front 3 teeth, knocking myself completely out as well as my teeth. Luckily, it went the way that I hoped, and I was able to have the veneers placed and steer clear of any root canals. A few years later, after moving back up to Portland, I began to notice a white, pus-filled, kind of pimple-like abscess that was forming around above these teeth and my gums. It was small, painless, and I could easily drain it. And once drained, it would not return for months at a time. So although I knew it was not supposed to be occurring, I held off on any treatment in hopes that it would sort itself out on its own. Around the same time, I began developing other health issues. I started to have severe painful menstrual cycles and PMS, and constant urinary tract and kidney infections. The symptoms became so severe to the point I was missing up to 2 weeks of work on a monthly basis, and it was completely taking over my life. I saw a specialist who believed these issues may be attributed to endometriosis, a gynecological disease. So I went in for 2 surgeries over the span of the next 1.5 years, where each time they found very advanced, severe endometriosis lesions covering my uterus. During these years, my UTI and kidney infections were getting so severe that I was ending up in the hospital every few months, with some of the infections being so severe I couldn't walk, with 105-degree fevers, and couldn't urinate, and almost had my bladder burst. According to the doctors in the ER, I had a few very close calls. At the same time, I was also noticing that my abscess was also beginning to get a lot worse. It was getting larger, it was getting incredibly painful, and when I would drain it, it was now starting to come back within a day, if not a few hours. After my last trip to the hospital, I was laying in bed after being brought home with the catheter in place, unable to move on my own, and in debilitating pain. I laid there in tears, wondering how a young, healthy woman like me, who eats incredibly healthy, exercises daily, and takes great care of herself, could possibly be having what's supposed to be some of the best years of her life taken by these diseases. Right at that moment, I began to feel pain in my mouth from the abscess, and all of a sudden a light bulb turned on in my head. I immediately began looking online for holistic dentists in Portland and found Dr. Blodgett's website and then his most recent post on Instagram, I believe that same day, was an energy meridian chart with each tooth and what organs they were connected to. When I looked up my 3 teeth that were injured in my accident, all 3 correlated directly with my uterus, bladder, and kidneys, the 3 organs I had all my problems with. I couldn't believe I may have finally found answers, and thought for a moment I could possibly be given my life back. I immediately called their office and scheduled an appointment, and it just so happened that I ended up back in the emergency room in hospital just a few days before my appointment. I spoke to the doctors, who at that time had gotten to know me very well over the past 3 years, with incredible excitement that I thought I'd finally figured out the root cause to all of my health problems. in hopes that they would be just as excited and pleased to hear that I was seeing Dr. Blodgett in just a few days and could possibly help with all of these. Yet, unfortunately, all I received from them was a shrug and an attempt to reassure me that this couldn't be the reason and there was zero correlation between any of this. I remained unfazed and reminded them that nothing they had been doing over the past 3 years had been successful, so this was at least worth a shot, and I kept my appointment with Dr. Blodgett. I saw Dr. Blodgett that very next week, and to make a long story a bit shorter, him and his team literally saved my life and gave me the woman back I knew and loved. He removed the infection, the infected teeth, and all of the what came out to be very severe infection, and we are now on our way to having implants placed, and I haven't had a single sign of a UTI or kidney infection or an abnormally painful menstrual cycle since. I remember going in for my post-op a week later and sitting in my car afterwards with tears of joy, not only because my health issues had subsided, but because I felt like a new woman. I felt like the Tory that I had lost what seemed like so many years ago, that I truly thought I would never get back. My brain felt clearer and my body felt revived, and I couldn't believe that I was being given a second chance. Dr. Blodgett and his team are truly life changers, and they deserve the most incredible 20-year celebration and so many more to come. Happy anniversary, Dr. Blodgett, and to your entire team, and to everyone out there dealing with anything like the story I just told. Just know that you are loved and you're not alone.